So going outside and painting from life is challenging and demanding and can be sometimes frustrating. So in this video, I'm going to talk about all the tools and tricks that I've learned throughout the years of painting outside, painting in different weather and different climates. The tools that mostly set me up for success and a higher rate of successful paintings, but also that makes my life easier, makes it more enjoyable for me as an artist to go outside and study light and plants and nature and sceneries and environments. My name is Lukas. I've been a freelance professional artist for over 15 years, and as often as I can I go outside and I study light and I paint from life and I search for unique places in my hometown of Copenhagen, or whenever I go travel to a different country. I bring most of my gear and tools, and when you're just starting out painting from life, it can be overwhelming and a little bit scary, maybe challenging to figure out all the tools you need and what's the best gear, and especially when you don't yet have any experience of what tools speak to you and what you enjoy using. So I'm gonna show you my kit and what I've selected and chosen throughout the years. And some of these tools might speak to you, and I can show you where to find them and buy them. But I think it's important that you experiment yourself and choose the tools that you enjoy. So usually if I just have a day off, I go around my own city and find parks or forests or even at the ocean, and I bring this cargo bike. You can bring your car or go by train, whatever, but I keep all my stuff in an IKEA bag or just a large bag, so it's easy to just throw everything in there and get moving, especially when the weather is changing or the light is changing. It's just great to have the possibility to move around and be flexible. So it's not necessary that you need all of this, but I like to bring it because you never know what you're gonna find. First off, I have this sketch easel, which my father made for me, but you can buy buy a similar one online, or I can make a video in the future of how to make these yourself. But it goes with the standard tripod mount, and I can place it anywhere in the terrain. He also made it with all these magnets, so I have this palette. I'm not actually completely sure what this is used for. Maybe it's for placing your candles on your sofa table or something, but I really enjoy it because first of all it's magnetic, so it's metal, so it goes on this easel, but it also has this enamel surface coating, so it's really easy to just rinse off and yeah, clean. I'm pretty sure you could get these or a similar one in any interior design shop. And this is my trusty gouache and watercolor box. I just found this in a thrift store. I just separate out my greens, my blues, and my warm colors. For the most part, I use the brand Schminke because it's easy for me to get here in Copenhagen, and it's really good quality. It's high pigmentation and it's relatively affordable. But for the most part, I stick to the same brand because the pigmentation and the consistency works well together. I have encountered in the past that if you mix too many brands, and some are super cheap, some are higher grade, it can tend to give you problems when you're in the field mixing colors and it doesn't work as well as expected. But again, I want to emphasize that the brand of paints that you choose doesn't really matter. I've worked with cheaper paints and really expensive, luxurious artist quality pigments, and to be honest, for me at least, it doesn't really matter. If it's important for you, the light fastness or the if you need like certain pigmentations that you can't get with the cheaper paints, then that's a factor that you need to invest in. For me, at least, most of the times when I go outside and paint from life, I'm not concerned with the final result. I'm not concerned with having an original that I want to sell and I want it to last 200 years, and that's not why I do it. I don't want to be precious with the tools that I use. I don't want to think about how expensive anything is. I just want to be free to focus on the light and the colors that I'm painting. And if the paint is too expensive, if the brushes is too expensive, or the paper or whatever you use, I tend to at least freeze up a little bit and be just a little bit more reluctant to put paint down and just explore. And that can be detrimental for your experience when you're out there, because sometimes the light changes so fast, you only have 20 minutes. Or the weather changes, it starts to rain, or it's freezing cold, or you only have like a couple of hours before you need to go to the next thing. So yeah, that's one main takeaway I have for you today, is try to go with a bit cheaper materials and tools in general, and I think it will free up and allow it to be more fun, and not worry too much about the end result and the final product, but be more present in the actual act of painting and looking at light and studying life around you. So that is the most important thing for me. Okay, so let's look at some specific tools. This box I think I bought like a microphone or something, and it came with it, but I've seen that you could get these in like outdoor shops. It's just handy and not too big. And let's see what's in this. All right, so I have some specific tools that I found. Works really great for what I do. I have this clamp that's great for the easel if it's windy and I need to secure my sketchbook or some paper or anything. And you can get these on Amazon or like a dollar store. It's just a cheap plastic clamp. I have a pipette water glass bottle. It's great for just water, and I also mostly use these spray bottles. And it is obvious, it's just to have a quick way to add water to my palette. And tape, I use tape all the time to secure the paper to the palette, but also to get clean, nice borders around my painting. And I can go into different types of tape, but this one, the brand I found, works the best for me. It depends on how much water you add. If you work with watercolor or gouache or acrylics, there's all the different types of brands of tape. Works better in different specific scenarios, but this one is Scotch tape, the removable blue one. The reason this is the best for me is that it's affordable, it's kind of cheap. I can get it most places in Copenhagen, but also it makes the cleanest edges, and water doesn't tend to like seep underneath the tape and ruin the borders, and it never ever tears the paper. Most of the other brands I've tried sometimes tear the paper, especially washi tape or masking tape or painter's tapes. I've tried maybe like 10 different brands of tape, and this is a clear winner for me. This is just a gray water soluble color pencil, and now sometimes I use it just to block out the composition, but sometimes I just go directly in with paint, so it's nice to have. But just one. For me, I only use one. Over here is a assortment of different brushes, some with longer hair, some with, you can see. Essentially, I have all the different mark making tools that I need. Sometimes I only use one brush. Sometimes I like to go in and experiment and have abstract shapes, but it's nice to have the ability to do anything you want. Especially the fan brush here. I think you should try it. If you have never tried painting on location with a fan brush, it really allows you to make some wild abstract marks that you cannot replicate with any other brush. There's this artist that I found that that paints in gouache only with a fan brush, and I just love it. So he inspired me to get one and try it out, and I've just never gone back. So most of the time I actually start out with just a 1-inch flat brush or a standard flat large brush, and just block in the whole composition only with this one. And it allows me to just only study the large shapes and not go into detail and worry too much about the finer details too early. So this is also a great tool to just sometimes only paint the whole painting just with this one. And you can block out the composition really fast with just one big brush, and I love it. Some days I go for watercolor, and I have these two main boxes or sets that I travel with because they're pocket size and I don't need that many variations of colors. And I got one with my name on it. It's just a straight out of the box color palette, and yeah, it's nice and simple, and I don't need to think too much about it. This one I bought an empty box and filled it out with just grayscale, black and white watercolor pans, and just I have this little color pencils to sketch out the composition. This could also work well with ink pens, or if you work primarily in black and white. So when it comes to paper or sketchbooks, there's just an infinite variety of what you can get. For me, I have so many different things to choose from, so I can't really recommend one or the other. So on some days I feel more like a sketchbook, and even like a big square one or a small tiny landscape one. This is especially where I invite you to just go with what you feel like using. And it's also important to feel into what makes you comfortable, and because it's important that the tools and the paper and the sketchbooks or whatever that you choose to use, it makes you comfortable and you know it well, so you don't have to be frustrated with paper tearing, or so many things can go wrong when you're out in the wind and the rain. And it's just important that you choose something that you like. The brand I like for sketchbooks is Leuchtturm 1970, I think. I've always used them. They make a sketch version where the paper is 150 grams. Sometimes just use really cheap moleskin. Again, because it's cheap, it's affordable. I don't need to be precious with it. Or I use like a block of just paper, not too thick, not too expensive. Just it's almost as if it should be okay to just tear up the paper, crumple it up, and throw it away. I don't really like painting on really expensive watercolor paper. It's, for me, it's just limiting. I worry too much. It becomes a performance. I need the painting to be good. I need the outcome to be successful, and that's just another layer of pressure when you're out there that I don't need. I just want to have fun. I also bring just what do you call it? Some days I also sometimes just bring some pens. These are great because you don't need to bring a bunch of water and glasses and to dip your brushes. They come with water. It's pretty obvious. They're great in the field. I also always carry some fountain pens. This is like a calligraphy wide pen nib, and this is an ultra flex nib. Maybe I can make a future video about this. This makes some great line weight variations. Yeah, it's great. I'll make a video about these sometime. And just some different color pencils. I rarely use them, but it's nice to have. Alright, so here lastly I'll just put a few words to why even go out in the field or in nature or anywhere, and why even go through the hassle of buying all this gear and setting yourself up for stress and pressure. And when I go out here and I paint from life and I study light and colors and shape, it gives me this unique sensibility to color nuance and how light affects different textures. And I actually feel my heart opening when I study light, when I sit and just look at something, a tree for example, for half an hour, how the bounce light from the ground affects the colors of the bark. And my heart is expanding, and I just feel almost like connected with my surroundings in a completely different way than from just sitting in your studio or painting from a photograph or even painting on your computer screen. For me, it's this hypersensitivity to my surroundings, the sounds around you, the wind in the trees or the birds chirping. After a certain point, maybe 15 minutes in, you get in this 20 minutes in, whatever, you get in this, maybe it's flow state or just this hyper present attention to life, to light and colors. And this is why I do it. And all the tools that I just went through, these are just supporting and making it possible for me to get to that state. And I just want to again re-emphasize that it shouldn't be important how the end result lands or how, in quote, good the painting is going to be, or can you sell it, are people going to like it on social media or whatever. I think it's important that it's about this presence of noticing life around us. So I really hope that you get the tools you need and you try it out. It comes with some challenges. It is by far not the easiest way to paint, but I just really hope that you get out there and you do it more and incorporate it in your artistic career path or whatever. And if you want to learn more and see more videos that I've made about painting from life, you can check them out here. And with that, I wish you a good day and see you in the next video. Bye.